I've had some tough weeks in business, but this 100% has been one of my worst weeks in business. Welcome back to 𝗕𝗕𝗓𝗓 behind. Yes, it's good to be back off my holiday, fully refreshed, and don't worry, I'm not getting a divorce. But good reaction to that video, and it's doing some decent numbers. I think it's obviously all these MILFs out there that think maybe I'm getting divorced and they think this eligible 5'8" bachelor is back on the market. But yeah, it's good. As you can see there, Project 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗓, we're prepping for the slab. If everything goes to plan and the weather holds, it's actually a bit cold, got the gilet back out, then we'll get back there towards the end of the week. But yeah, I'm back and I'm glad and I love work and I miss it and I can't wait to show you what happens this week. Come on! I'm not gonna lie, I've missed you boys. I have, I've really missed the guys. I feel bad because I was away with Rachel and the kids. I had a great time, but I really love working. I'm not just saying it, but if you find a team that you love being and make you excited about coming into work, then look after that team. You miss me?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
always.
Yeah. I did speak to you boys quite a lot during the week, didn't I? Let's be honest.
I'd say the racking of the heat was much less as well. I had to make about 4.
We should probably explain what heat means.
Heat is a cup of tea.
Yeah. That like stretches back to KTM and I when it was just me and him in a little mill with no windows. We were actually in the mill. We had one room in a mill, didn't we? No windows. Literally wouldn't see the daylight. The very first day, I think I've told this story on Channel 4, KTM spilled porridge everywhere and they basically had to get the whole place steam cleaned. And we were like, oh, it's really bad, that smell. And it was him. He spilled, because he is quite clumsy, KTM. And those that don't know, that's about the 10th Mac he's had because he destroys his laptop. Because he likes a bit of a fluid environment and he works everywhere, then he, yeah.
Fluid environment.
So, you are bad.
Good.
You are very clumsy, yeah. So, hopefully, not been too many issues whilst I've been away. To be fair, I know there's not been that many, and you've kept the ship on the right path. And we're also starting a new job today, aren't we, Mr. TB?
We certainly are.
Oh, by the way, your segment in the episode was actually really interesting. It was good. No, it was really good, and I actually think a lot of people would have found it interesting because you talked about what actually, you got good shoulders by the way, what actually, oh no, we're gonna get some grief from that, we have Dobson, he'll be honest, yeah, take a bit of flack of KTM.
Northwich, see you there.
Yeah, we've actually got an inquiry at a sauna, we're definitely gonna put KTM on that, but he loves the sauna. But yeah, we started a new project and it's a design and build, isn't it?
It certainly is, yeah. Block conversion, Dudley Road.
Yeah, it's actually on a road that we've already worked on, so obviously that neighbour has gone and spoke to the new customer or whatever and said we did a pretty decent job. Although that job did take us quite a while to finish, didn't we? It was the cladding caught us out, we had to source some cladding somewhere. But yeah, project, what should we call it? Well, Dudley 2.0. Yeah, Dudley 2.0. So let's go and check in with Bizzle, who's also now been moved from Project Church to this because he's our main man to get jobs smashed about and get them up and running. Let's go have a look at Project Dudley 2.0. Shoulders.
Hi guys, welcome to Project Dudley 2.0. Let's have a little walk around, see what's going on. Right, guys, on the inside, basically we're putting some structural work that was wrong. There's a massively undersized piece of steel that's gone in the past, which was supporting a piece of timber which goes through the ceiling. We've took all the ceiling down, so we get the timber out. The steel's ready to come down, ready for the new pieces going in. That's been designed by the structural engineer. As you can see upstairs in Dudley, there's been a lot of movement because of the steel that's undersized. And also we're going to drop all these ceilings because we're having a loft conversion up there, which will be very spacious. So all the ceilings are coming down, new floors, new ceilings, and we go again. Externally at Dudley, there's been a lot of movement as well. So what we're doing is taking all the render off, correcting it. Any problems there is, we'll sort them out and re-render it. So it should be looking quite nice.
I'm gonna sneeze on the cups. You alright with that?
Yeah, do it on mine if that's okay.
Oh, my hay fever is terrible. I don't know what's going on, but it's a nightmare. Oh, I've just seen here. One sec. It was going well this week. You carry on, Paul. This week was going so well. But basically, the 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗗𝗓, you know, our 14-ton machine, which is getting on a little bit. Oh, I'm just reading it now. Basically, it hadn't started. The boys tried to jump start it, and John Wade from the Wade Group kindly lent us his machine. Well, lent us, we're paying him for it, and that's got us through. So Dale's just told me he had to get out Blue Engineering. I think actually, well, the Fabber put us onto them, and they've got a 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗓 specialist, and they said that he thinks the ECU might have gone. Do you know what an ECU is, don't you?
Yeah, man, of course.
What is it?
Electrical control unit.
Oh my God, that's good knowledge, that. I don't know why I'm laughing. Oh, it started well, man. So yeah, so maybe we're bang out of luck, and this week might actually take a bit of a downturn because we need that 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗓 because it's our only machine. And anyway, not gonna bore you. Gonna keep positive. Tell you what is making me happy. I miss this man's cups of tea. Well, whilst away, you saw I took tea bags, and I really missed your. I don't know what it is. I just missed because you're just very, very consistent with your tea.
There's a lot of TLC that goes into each cup. That's what
I got a bit of abuse about how I take my tea, you know.
What, with all the milk?
Yeah. Some guys are like, oh, really like this channel until saw how you take your tea.
It is extremely milky, but I balance it out because I have a proper builder's.
Yeah, you do actually, a manly tea.
Yeah, I have a manly one.
Yeah, but I don't know why, because the cooler it is, the quicker you can drink it and you can have more.
Yeah.
I actually did ChatGPT whilst away, like, is drinking excess amounts of tea bag for you? What do you reckon the answer is?
Probably.
It just says in moderation, it said you should look to have no more than 3 to 4 cups a day.
Okay.
I've done that in an hour.
You have done that in an hour.
I have.
Yeah. You've gone back to, you've chain heated before.
Yeah, I am. Oh man, I'm terrified that they're going to go. I used to have 2 sugars in my tea.
I still have 1.
I know, but 4 an hour and having 2 sugars.
That's pretty
It's
bad.
outrageous anyway.
Pretty bad. I'll rack them anyway. I'll sort you out.
What a guy. I'll be alright. Good to be back at my desk. I have missed this. I love being at my desk. I don't know why. I just love my job. Even when it is a bit testing, as that news about the 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗓 is testing my patience a little bit, but I just love being at this desk. The guys have kindly sifted through my mail, and there's absolutely no disasters in my mail, which I'm pleased about. A couple of bits I've got to look at, but yeah, so far, so kind of good. Alex, on the other hand, this is his pressure point. Sorry about this. This is his pressure point. Basically, all of our stuff, we literally get a couple of days to get tenants, in one day actually, to get some tenants out of all our rooms, which I think we've got nearly 160 now, and then get them all moved in. But our new projects, we have got quite a bit to go. On Project Greenbank, we've got probably 3 weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks to get that ready. And if I said we've not even started the painting yet, you'd understand where I'm coming from. We've got a lot to do, but we'll do it. Well, a bit further on in the process is Project Adelaide. Well, Adelaide 2.0, another 2.0. So Project Adelaide there is basically done. A few final snags that Mr. Riddick will pick up on and sort with Christian, but we're getting it ready for pictures and video. It's really important for us at that point there, when it's first refurbished, that's the best it's ever going to look. So we need to get in there, get lovely marketing shots, nice video that we can use forever and a day to market and fill and get new tenants every year. But it is also quite an important bit, because if you get it wrong, you'll regret it forever. We've had some shots of some images of jobs where we just think, oh, why do we leave that crease? Why do we put that there? However, Alex, it's not his first barbecue, not his first rodeo. So let's catch up with Alex over on Project Adelaide 2.0.
So yeah, now this is probably the part, yeah, Ross, make yourself useful, lad.
You're going in.
Going in. This is probably the part that you don't see. So we're on our Adelaide job, as Chris has just mentioned, and we're just getting ready for us. Nile behind the camera is doing video and photos of this fully done in 2 days' time. And inside, I'm not happy with the standard of the finish, so the lads are in there just getting it up to standard, so that last couple of 1-2% makes it look better. There's a couple of doors that need ease and stuff. Now we need to repaint them. I'll explain in a minute, but you can see the back of my car's filled with some dressings that we just bought, you know, from the range, nothing extravagant, but just something to help us dress the rooms out to make it look a bit better. And most of these will stay in here, and then some of it will just go in our storage, where we've got a big, a couple of boxes now of other dressings that we've used on houses over the years, and then we just pick in it. Most of that's going to get dropped off tomorrow as well to help us dress the rooms. And then as I say, that will get us making the rooms look nice and finished. These won't stay in the rooms once the photo and videos done. We'll take it out because the tenants will just ruin it really, and you can put their own stuff on it, but it's to give us the marketing photos so we can sell the rooms next year or this year when we come to film. So the process now, just get everything in. Me and the missus are going to mark out on the walls where things are going, photo wise, and then the lads are going to put them on. Take that, mate, thank you. So yeah, as you can see, the lads, I can tell, you're on there now, yeah? So you can see, I can tell by that the lads are coming to the end of what they're doing, because they're nearly out the door. A little bit of paint there now, what's that? Have you got a flathead? Or a posse, what is it, posies? We got one. Have you, so part of our little list of snags, which I'll show you a few bits there. Now, this door has proven to be a bit of an issue. Ross is telling me it's the draft of the basement below, which is making it a bit hard to adjust, but I think there can be something that's done. So it's quite hard to open that. And this is just me being OCD, but when the students are in here, you know, most of them are girls in our properties, that in my opinion is quite hard to open. Them closers that we use there are expensive ones, and it should be able to be opened nice and easy. So I think there's settings on there that make it easier. So what's the back check one do?
One's shutting speed, isn't it? One's latching speed.
So you see that? Need an Allen key for that.
Got some.
Them screws there are not to adjust it, they're to put it on.
One of them.
You can hear the lads in there now messing with it all. Who's doing it now? Lauren? Lauren? Yeah. Wanneer is dat gaat? So have you been messing with these now so you know how they work, don't you?
Yeah.
What's that one do?
Then was the back check. When it came through here, then the stronger closing.
Yeah. Closing speed is the whole thing until it's open.
Yeah.
Latching speed is the last little bit, but see this bit where it's harder to open?
Yeah.
It's easier now.
Yeah.
So the back check is the strength to open it. So look, I've took that off now.
Oh, yeah.
Nice and easy.
Yeah, the back check then, yeah.
So when it's hard to pull, undo the back check, pull it.
Let's see if it's all better now, open it.
Do you know what I mean? And then that latching speed there needs less. So yeah, so the last little bit that we're doing in here is just to get it fully finished. In most people's eyes, when you come in here, it's done. But in terms of finished photo eyes, it's not done. Like the bits like that, where the cork's been missed. It's cracking. Because it hasn't been corked. Or it has been corked when it's probably just moved the heat and opened up. Little bits like that. So all, what happens is once you do a brand new property like this, people know it in new builds. Anyone who's bought a new build, they'll tell you not to wallpaper your walls for like a good 2 years because you get settlement cracks. It's the exact same in this. So you can see it already in some of them. Because this, they get done a couple of months ago now, didn't they? You'll just see cracks already. So I'm thinking while we're here now, get them sorted. And also, we're getting photo and videos. We get one chance. We spend all this money, over 100 grand on these houses. We get one go, one day, where it's at its best condition to get the video and photos so we can sell this property every single year to new students to get it right. So it needs to be bang on, and that little couple of percent is different. But now, like that's all just been adjusted after the painting work. You've got to now obviously touch it all in and paint it. Same with all the other doors there, you can see. Because we've gone for the two-tone style with the black in the hallways and then the wall colour on the back of the door, it takes a bit of time painting that in again. So again, painters are coming back, more cost, and really we had the time to get it right and then finish off painting. But we know for the next one. There's a couple more bits to do, signs going up there, little Emperor logo, which is what we do in a couple of our houses, photos to go up. There's a mirror on order to go on that wall there, which is not here yet, and then me and the missus are just going to pick out where things are going to go now, and then that's it, bang them up. Job's a good one. You're going off soon, aren't you?
I am. Well, a couple of days.
He's having a baby.
It's all I'm allowed.
So,
looking forward to it. Any time now.
Yeah. So, mate, I was a bit naive, me, when it was happening to me. I thought...
I've not even thought about it.
Yeah, I thought it'd be plain sailing, and it's not. So I can't wait to see how you get on.
My missus is very like, she's very like stressy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they are, so.
Yeah, so anyone who's watching at home there, and obviously he's got kids themselves, they'll know what Ross was about to step into.
Wish me luck.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, so we'll have a little look around in a sec then and see where we're up to. Cross over a few bits, double check a few things, and then make sure our snag list is done. And then that's it, final walk around, and then hopefully by the time we come back with Nile behind, it'll be fully done. And then the next time you'll see it, it'll be a full show reel of the house. So yeah, as I say, going through the last little bits now, there's a couple of photos that have been dotted about, so we're just going to try and work out whether or not it's worth putting them in the rooms. This one's been put here, but if it looks silly somewhere, then we just put nothing in. It's not worth having it up, but we've just got a couple of selection of photos to see if they work in the rooms. If they don't, we've got the receipts, we just take them back. But for now, we just pick a decent selection of them, see where they can sort of line up, and then go from there. But I can see now it's much cleaner in here, much better, so we're nearly there on the finish side. These mattresses have been turned upside down as well, by the way, just to protect the actual finished side. All the mattress protectors are there to go on these, but again, nice big high headboards with the light behind, which is good for us. And then just final dressing, so we'll dress all the rooms, all the beds, put all bits of ornament out, and then obviously get it ready for the man behind the camera to do. And I can just stay at Ross now, going around double checking the doors, because how is that need that now? Needs adjusting though. Yeah, so there's a little bit of an art to get the door closers right, but we pay a lot of money to have these closers, nice fancy ones as you can see, and they're so easy to adjust compared to the cheap and nasty ones, so you should be able to get it shut like a hotel door, which is what we want to try and achieve in here. But yeah, we're going to go for this one's probably just going to sit in there. Someone's already drawn on the wall for it, positioned it, but it'll probably just sit on there like that. So that's that one agree for this room. Quite easy. Again, there's a little selection of stuff there. We'll just go round. Look at that. Not good. Needs painting in properly, that. And then another one's been put in here, but I think that's too small, mate. Do you reckon now? It's too small or what? So just notice there, again, nothing to do with me, this is Christian learning from his old bits and bobs that I've gone over the years. That's nice and central with the desk. It's on line with the mirror, and the mirror's on line with the wardrobe. So a nice little eye detail there, is like a little piece. Mirror just fits in nice, perfect with the socket and the wardrobe, so you can see how we design the rooms out from scratch off plan, making sure the sockets are measured perfect to be centered to the desk. Ooh. Allow a mirror, which we always pick these mirrors to go there, and then allow space for the wardrobe. So look at that, perfect, nice and symmetrical, like that, in order.
I had the big one in the middle and then the medium one to the left.
So it'll be like that.
Like that?
working here. It's probably the only room. Let's say it's going to go there then for now. So I don't know, I don't know. Actually, we normally do like a little shelf, and yeah, that's what was given to us. Look at that now. So one's decided to touch up the paintwork with the wrong type of paint. You can see it there, look. So we used the wood paint, it's wet still as well, to touch up a masonry wall. So we're moving. We've actually just gained a couple of more photos there. Last one. Potentially then you could go with that, look. That's too off that. It is, isn't it?
It's just because it's fruit in the bedroom.
Yeah, no, you can't put fruit in the bedroom. We're putting that there. Nile saying get two. So yeah, as always, this time every year for us is just busy because we've got all the existing students getting ready to move out, so we're doing preparation work to get in, to get the maintenance done. Some have already moved out, so we're already doing our reports and maintenance reports to get the lads in. But at the same time, we've got properties like this, we've got properties like Greenbank that you've seen above the shop that we need to get fully finished because we've got our own students moving into there as well for the 1st of July. So it's always a push this time of year. It's busy all the time, and you'd always think you'd have enough time on a job, and you just never have that time. But at the same time, saying that, it's good to have a deadline, because when you have a deadline, it drives everyone to get to that finishing point, and we get there every single year. Sometimes I think it's going to be impossible to get there, but this year, I'd say it's easier on our own stuff. The only problem that we've got is we're doing the customer HMOs, which I've seen us doing, and because we're on there trying to get them pushed on to them, our own lads are just not available. They're on there, which is difficult, but in here, as I say, we've picked now where we sort of want stuff. I'd say there's probably another day's worth of work for 2 men to go round, put the photos on, get the lights on, do a little bit of final touch-ups. Ross is nearly done on the doors now, so we're happy with them. And then, as I say, just a couple of little snags that I've seen on the paintwork that need touching up to just give it that nice clean finish, and then a final sparkle clean. And then we've got all our dressings that are in storage in our own home to bring, get them all set out, ready for Nile to come in and film, and then that's it then. Ready to rock and roll then, in case of get all the stuff out that we're not keeping in here. Keep it back in storage until we do our next one, which is Greenbank. That's 2 weeks away from getting the tenants moved in. So that is push on there. And as I say, we've got to do all of this on there as well. But I'm hoping by that point we'll have this one boxed onto there, and we should be a little bit further on the custom stuff, so we'll be able to get it done, get Nile in, photo, video, job's a good one, and then focus on our maintenance then for the rest of the summer. So yeah, so with all that being said, back over to Manchester.
So it's all going so well. I don't want these vlogs to be negative, because I know what it's like when you speak to someone, all they do is moan. But I mentioned before about the Deuce and the 14-tonner being down. Well, the lads have just sent me some video through of our 5-tonner, which is actually the newest machine we own. The tracks are damaged. Now, this is probably my fault, because when we got it, it had rubber tracks, and we ruined one of them. I think you saw in a previous episode, Dale changing it, and the dig said at the time there, do yourself a favour, do us all a favour, get metal tracks. But if you get one side, you have to get the other, and I was just pumping so much money into the yard that I didn't want to do it, so I just got another rubber track and put that on. Well, the other one's gone now, so it's come back to haunt me. But basically at the moment, we've not got any decent sized machines in the yard. No deucing and no 5-tonner, and the weight group picking up their machine any minute now, which is annoying. Also, I mentioned, I wasn't sure what to speak about this on the channel. I mentioned in last week's episode, one of the drivers shed his load, or half of his load, coming back from Project 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗓 there. Luckily, KTM spotted it, got him back and cleaned it up. The driver just said the door mustn't have been engaged. It's not an automatic door, it's a manual one. He remembers doing it. I've got no way of proving or disproving, but it's just happened. We thought we got away with it because we cleaned the road up. It's all looking spick and span. Someone's been on whilst I've been away. KTM has now told me. And a stone has flicked off and caught someone's car. the damage doesn't look that bad, and obviously we'll own it straight away, and we'll go and get some estimates and see. Well, we'll get the person to go and get some estimates and see whether it's worth us just paying to get it fixed or going through our insurance. But yeah, another issue. I feel so enthusiastic about coming back to work. I had butterflies in my stomach, and now I feel a little bit stressed because things are just going wrong, but this is business. Got to keep positive. Tomorrow is another day, so hopefully see you tomorrow. Good morning, hoping for a better day today. Boom, slab is poured. Apparently, the Ray boys and Adam, Eve and Mike have put in 13.6 cubic meters of concrete into this slab, which is pretty tasty, to be honest. We had to work with the engineer because this part of the slab specifically needs to be designed as a workshop, so it may have vehicles in here, so it's going to be weight bearing. So we've beefed it up a little bit with mesh and some rebar, and we've got fibres in the concrete also. So it's looking pretty good. They've floated it, an initial float, but we're going to let it firm up a little bit, but we're going to come back later on today and float it a little bit more to try and get a smoother finish, because really I want this to be the finished floor. I don't really want to be screeding it. We haven't really allowed for any thick screed, so I don't want to be tidying up. So we're going to give this a bit of a buffing up later, but yeah, we're at a good point on the build. The next steps is to start taking the brick and block work up, and this is where you'll see some progress. I feel like the groundwork on this project has been an absolute nightmare. If it was for a customer, I'd feel sorry for them, but it's for us, so I feel sorry for ourselves. Alex and I have basically had to fund all these extra over items, so the stuff that we didn't really foresee for, we've not been able to borrow money for out of our own pocket, and it's been quite hard actually keeping this going. So we're not going to make any money off this until we get our first tenanting, which hopefully will be no later than the end of the year. But that's just property development and that's construction. It would have been worse if it was a customer, because then we'd be making a profit margin. It would be worse for the customer, not for us. So yeah, good spot. This is good. So we're going to let this firm up now. What's happening over on New HQ, we've had some deliveries dropped off there. Good test actually. Managed to get a truck in, which I was a bit nervous about, a truck with a crane on. So our friends at MKM have dropped some materials off there. We'll go down there later in the week and I'll show you what's happening. But Adam and Eve and Mike are going to use this project and that project against each other. So like now, they're going to go over there and start knocking things about over there. And if it rains here, or they're waiting for materials or whatever, they're going to fly over there and crack on. And that's actually a dream job because it's all inside for them. So yeah, you sometimes get that where everything comes to a bit of a bottleneck, but you've got to do what you can. But yeah, good stage in the project. Happy with it. When you look here, the amount of concrete that's gone into this job overall, I'm going to work it out once it's finished. But look at the depth of these footings here, and that's only some of them. It's actually stepped up over the other side of the build, so they're even deeper. So we've really had our work cut out. You couldn't foresee this. This actually wasn't what the engineer originally designed. Once we got on site and we started digging that very first day and we started grading it off and basically just getting some levels in, we realised that we had issues. So yeah, it is what it is. We were committed, it just had to be done. The site's a bit messy, which is always the way after this stage. Going to get it tidied up next week. What is good, Project 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗓, our design and build single story rear extension project, we are cracking on there. Last week you saw Rob, one of our really highly skilled joiners, I'll grab that, put it in the bin, one of our really highly skilled joiners who works with Matt. So Matt was off last week, and this week Rob's off, so Matt's taking over. Them two are lost without each other, they're an absolute power team. Sometimes what I like doing, they didn't know each other before they came to work for me. I like looking at my team and pairing up different members, and you start forming partnerships. And what happens is, sometimes it's a personality thing, one encourages the other. Sometimes it's a skill set thing, one fills the skill set and experience that the other doesn't. Or sometimes you've got someone that benefits from having someone very experienced and they can bring them on even more. So Matt and Rob have worked together for us now for probably 4 years, maybe 5 years. And they are like the ant and deck at every trade. So let's go and check in with Matt at Project 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗓. This week is the week that keeps on giving. Not only am I ravaged now by hay fever, which I don't understand because it's actually not that nice. There must be some kind of pollen bomb. Our two trucks, so the two big grabs, the 8-wheeler and the 6-wheeler. Obviously we've got the baby grab and the tipper. By the way, the oldest in the fleet, which is the baby grab, rarely lets us down, touch wood. But the 8-wheeler is completely off the road, needing some MOT work, so we've had to rebook that for an MOT and get loads of work done. Spent quite a few grand on that. That's got its MOT booked for later in the week. But the 6-wheeler, I've just found out, I'm in a group called Defects and Issues for Plant and Machinery, and it's pretty depressing really, to be honest. I shouldn't really be in the group, but I want to be in it because I've said to all the guys in the yard, I want to know about every single defect or issue in any of the trucks or plant and machinery so I can sort them out. It's not about finding out who's to blame or anything like that, but I want to make sure that the machines are being maintained and are safe, because we have got, in the main part, older machinery and older trucks, so you have to look after them. Well, basically, the 6-wheeler was booked in for its PMI, which does that mean preventative maintenance inspection? Correct me if I'm wrong, HGV people. Every 6 weeks we are programmed to do, and we try and time it so both grabs are not off the road at the same time. Well, the 6-wheeler, they've had it for 2 hours and they've just come back and said, we can't check this, it's got loads of issues, but basically complete brake failure because it's had a brake test. So we've got to get it back straight away and work out what I'm going to do with it, because they can't fit it until next week, so I might have to get Dale onto it. The issue is we're not completely set up to lift the truck safely and things like that, so I might have to invest in a couple more jacks and stuff like that. It's just all good fun. So at the moment we've got no trucks. Well, we've got the baby grab and we've got the tipper, but not a right lot we can do with them, is there? So what I think I'm going to have to do is cancel some grabs for today, which is depressing, and maybe I'll have to cancel the grabs for the week and just push them back, because I don't want to let people down and we haven't got any grabs. So I need to head back to HQ and get a plan together for this and see what's what. But yeah, this week, man, it's not only this week, it's just trucks generally, innit? Why would I bother? Why? So as I explained, the site is very messy. It's such a tight site here. We are literally using every square foot of the plot that we've got. We did have hoarding up here, but it blew down in the wind. We put it back up, and then the pilers had to take it down to put their piles in where the hoarding was. And we've been using these barriers, and that's just not sufficient. So what I'm gonna do is speak to KTM and get some proper hoarding put up, probably with OSB, and really secure the site, because that's not acceptable. It shouldn't be like that. It's also an absolute dump. I'm not blaming the guys, but it can't be left like that. It's embarrassing. Also, it's a bit unsafe. Also, I've noticed here, the Ray boys are absolutely mega and did wash it down, but you do get this almost after every pour, and it's not great. So what I'm gonna do is speak to KTM about getting someone down here to give this whole road a jet washing off, because A, it's not right environmentally. It's a bad look for us. People around here know that this is our site. They've been good and dealt with the noise and all that lot. And also, I just don't want to leave our jobs like that. So I'm going to sort it out, and I'm going to get all this jet washed. And I'll probably need to jet wash it a few times, because it's our responsibility to do so. And also, I want to be considerate for people around. And I know you guys will dig us out if we don't do something about it. So tidy the site, sort out the hoarding, and jet wash the road. What a week! I reckon we timed that pour just right, because those clouds are looking quite ominous. The weather in Manchester is all over the show, probably in the most of the UK. Like I say, it's boiling, but it's dark clouds. But this hay fever, I'm really sorry in advance. Nobody really wants to spend their Sunday mornings, or whenever you're watching this, watching some overweight, middle-aged mank lad sniffling and basically crying on camera. But I do feel like crying, to be honest with you, because this week keeps on chucking bombs at us. So what I've decided, I mentioned before about the six-wheeler, I've looked at those notes and I've had a chat with Dale, and I'm just going to make an executive decision. I'm going to stand the six-wheeler down, mark it as off the road, and go over that vehicle top to bottom. So we're going to do all the brakes, obviously. I've told Dale to prioritise anything mechanical, but if you remember, when we got that vehicle, it went straight into service, and we had it on hire to a utility company for a while, and it's never really been given any form of TLC. It's just basically either worked, been on hire to someone, or been in a garage getting repaired. So we've ordered some bits for Dale so we can crack on doing the mechanical stuff. We've ordered a lot of parts from our friends at Transparts. Cheers guys, they're here already. And we've also ordered some paint and some other bits, because Dale, like I say, is going to go top to bottom. I've asked him to record it. Whether he will or not, I don't know, because he's pretty busy and he's under pressure. Dale gets pulled left, right and centre, and he's going to do it in our dome there, which is exactly what I wanted that dome for, because I thought there's no point in having a workshop where we've got to bring the trucks away from the yard and then take them back to the yard. So it's like a satellite workshop he's had set up there. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to check back in later on with that. I'm not a negative person, and I've been in business long enough to know that you get days, weeks, and sometimes months and years like this, but we are being tested. I didn't know, KTM just brought me up to speed. Project Wilms though, you know, the apartment block that we're building, the shell only, well, it's been going so well. It's been a bit stop-start, but it's been cracking on. We've managed to keep the customers' expectations managed. He understands that there's been a couple of delays with the posi joists and things like that. We've literally got a team together, and now everything needs to run like clockwork with our labour. Because as I said, there's what? Of our core team, there's 33 lads there, and that's it. That's our core team. We can use subcontracts and things like that. However, all our work's got to be planned around them. KTM meticulously, as you saw last week, plans these projects. Anyway, the boys have done some opening up works at Project Wilms and realised there's some steels that nobody expected. And what that means is some of the brickwork that needs to happen to enable the roof to go on can't now happen. We've got just remember, we've got a crane on the way. You need to ring and cancel that crane quickly. We've got a crane on the way, which we need to hopefully divert, because they'll charge us. We've already paid, and see if they can find something else. And we'll have to stand a load of labour down. It's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. What is going on? What we're going to do now is go back to their structural engineer and say, quick as you can, please work out a solution for this. It's nobody's fault because it's unforeseen, you couldn't see it. It's in the roof. Literally no one could have foreseen this, but it's annoying because we've got a really good plan to get his job finished. The client is desperate to crack on and we've got labour standing there. What is going on this week? Is this because it's my first week back after a holiday? I'm not joking. You couldn't actually make this up. I'm just feeling KTMing. This week, tough, innit?
Bad.
Really bad. Especially with you with that pimple on your face there.
Oh, yeah.
Actually can't see it, I'm joking.
You sit like that.
Yeah, you should have done that. Basically, just found out now. So the dig's off, he's on his holiday, or whatever he's up to, God knows. Well, the K4, my beautiful screener, has lost a pin in one of the discharge belts. They can't find it. It's obviously worked its way out. I'm going to watch the cameras and find out what's happened. I've got a little suspicion I know what's happened. I'm praying it's there somewhere and they can slot it back in because that K4 is out of action without it. But yeah, that's another issue to log on our issue. Let's create a... Remember when we used to have that thing where we used to log our nightmares? Where we had a thing where it was a sheet and any mistakes we'd make on jobs or anywhere like we've costed it wrong or an engineer would do something wrong and cost us money. We used to put a log there, and what we used to do is try, and when a job made good profit or something, we just offset a couple of them and say, oh, well, that's kind of cancelled that out, just to make ourselves feel better. Well, this week, I think that list would be pretty long, mate.
Need a bigger spreadsheet.
We do. So, I'm going camping, apparently, at the end of this week, and I noticed Dave from D&J Projects has got one of these power banks. I was looking at a few. I know there's the Jackery one and things like that. Well, Dave got gifted one of these, which I think he's got the 600 watt one, and he says it's good, and it's he's been able to run a cement mix off it. Well, I have had to buy one because I'm not as big time as him, and I haven't got people sending anything really for free. But if you do, feel free. Subscribers are growing. But yeah, so I'm gonna have that because I need to be able to charge my phone, obviously, charge Parker's iPad because he needs his iPad, otherwise he's gonna peck my head all weekend, and I need to be able to check the episode. So I'm praying where I'm going has either got some kind of Wi-Fi, it's off grid by the way, or I've got the 5G router over there. Hopefully that network will work in the area. It's a school thing. I'm not going to be looking at my phone all weekend, but I need to be able to check the episode so you guys get to enjoy it on Sunday morning. So if you're watching this on Sunday morning, it's worked. If you're not, then go and watch Asheville. But yeah, right, so told you about the six-wheeler. Dale is cracking on and he's done well already. So let's catch up with Dale and see how he's getting on trying to save our six-wheel grab.
Hi guys, so got a big job on, well I've done all week. Only got a little bit of filming this week. Just my nose has been streaming. I don't know about any of you guys, but hay fever has been bad. So we've got our six-wheel Daffin. I've had it in all week. I've basically done the front brakes, discs and pads. As you can see here, old pads, old discs. Even tarted the wheels up a bit. You'll see around this side. This is what we're going to have it look like now. Changes it up a bit. So yeah, it's had discs and pads on the front. It's having shoes and drums on the rear on the third axle, so this axle. That axle is fine. I'm also putting the new dust covers on because these are knackered, got holes in, and I've changed a slack adjuster on this wheel and also done a hub seal on the other side. So pretty busy week, although not very busy on the camera unfortunately, but I'm going to show you and talk you through what the crack is here. Ignore these, I've got some of these on the way. So basically this here is your slack adjuster. Here, you can see it. Basically you wind that off, so then it winds this. so it's fully adjusted. In fact, this is fully adjusted already, which isn't good, so that means it's worn. So I've just got to take these shoes off. I've got some nice new drums. These are knackered and they're worn. There's a lip inside there. So yeah, I'll crack on and get all this stripped off. So that is that fitted, nice and easy when it all comes off, and nothing seized. So now I have just got to adjust the shoes up. So that slack adjuster I was telling you about, which is this, basically you tighten this up now, which adjusts your shoes. You tighten it up until you cannot spin the drum, and then back it off half a turn, and then you're good to go. Right, so what you'll do now, if this is the right way, you'll wind this, which pushes the shoes out. You might not be able to see it quite there, but you'll notice. Oh look, there you go. It's not spinning anymore. So then you get this, back it off, half turn. A bit more. There you go. So it's just got room to spin, and that's a nice fresh rear axle. I've had to put a new ABS sensor on that side, but that is now shoes and drums on the third axle with new discs and pads on the front, new hub seal on the second axle, and that's it. I think we're gonna do some more work on the body and some other bits, but that is that. Lovely job.
Made me feel better, our kid. Have a cuddle.
Have a cuddle.
Oh, sorry. Alright, how's it looking?
Good.
Right, it's actually coming through. No, it genuinely is actually.
Slowly but surely.
It's not looking as scabby. You've been treating it right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got some like vitamin tablets as well.
Looks a bit sore at the back, our kid. Yeah, a little bit sore, but actually not as bad as it was. So yeah, our kid, it's like a plant that you've grown when you were a kid, sees, and I'm seeing it come to life. What would have been good, Hollywood, if we'd done a time lapse of his hair growing? We could have fixed a GoPro to his head for a year. You had to wear it like that guy with the train, Francis, whatever. He's going to be the new Top Gear presenter. Do you know who he is? Hollywood, find some B-roll. But yeah, we could put a GoPro there and do a slow motion time, not slow, what do you call it? Like high res time lapse of your hair growing. Are you up for that?
I'm game, yeah.
Would you do that?
If it works, yeah.
Have you joined Hinge or Tinder or Grindr or whatever you're on?
Staying off all websites.
You're staying off? Yeah. Our kid has not had much luck in his love life. But we can't say too much because my nephew Luca, does he not even watch anymore? Because he doesn't bother. Is he not bothered anymore? He lost it.
He does watch him, yeah.
Yeah, what Luca watches, but we need to help. Once he's I've said to him, he needs to stay off them apps now until he's got his hair all grown, he's got a big afro, and then he can like bang, 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 and see how he gets on there, because you're definitely going to get a lot more interest, aren't you? With your new gnashes and your hair.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's looking good though.
Thanks.
Looking really good. Is it irritating or anything?
No. Bit sore, like you say, at the back there.
Ooh. Anyway, that's about it for today. I'm praying this week gets easier. It's funny now. It's just become funny. All sorts. I think it's like business karma's way of saying you had a nice holiday. Well, now let me show you what's coming. Here's what it is. morning. It's Friday, and the boys, as always, have smashed it. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 courses, which is probably our limit now. You could probably get one more on there, but this wall isn't really tied into anything. It's just a straight wall. So we probably need to stop there, and it's lunchtime. Perfect. So you have an early finish today, boys?
Looks like, we've got to sort all this out.
Good tidy up as well, but these boys have smashed it. So this is what we've decided we're going to do. We're going to build all this out of block work, and then we're going to stop, put a floor in, so a chamber floor in. We're going to probably run the joists north, south, because the span of 5 meters is probably a little bit too much for the timber, and you'll get a lot of creaking and a bit of sort of movement in the joist, which you don't want, a bit of whip. So we're going to put a steel into the webbing of the existing structure there, and then probably at about 4 meters, another steel, and then I'm going to run my joist north-south, because obviously that's going to be the shortest route. So yeah, the boys are cracking on. We're using this at the moment as a bit of a hospital job whilst they're on Project 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗓. As you know, yesterday they poured the slab on that, so that now is going to be buffed up, and then they'll be back on that next week. But it's actually worked out quite well because the boys can crack on doing this. So what's going to happen as well is we're going to build another bit here, I think. I'm actually thinking that might be worth changing this now. Yeah, we're actually down to build another bit here, which will house part of our meeting room. You've seen that when we were doing the drawings with TB, but I'm actually thinking now, it's big enough for it, and maybe we can rework it and save the labour and materials by not doing that bit. Let's have a think about that. Just going to try and call TB now. See if he answers.
Yes, how are we doing?
TB in the house.
You okay, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, pal. I'm down at the new HQ, and you know that bit, the dog leg, where we were going to house the meeting room?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I've been having a chat with Adam and Eve, we might get rid of that now, and basically just keep it, as you can imagine, like a straight wall, and then the floor will just run in line with the existing offices, if that makes sense.
Okay, are you sure that's going to work in terms of space for like everything that we need?
I don't know, that's your job, not mine. So,
okay.
So
I'll
no.
sketch it all, and
Yeah, do us a favour, yeah, can you, but
can.
Adam and Steve are flying here, so we need to know quite quickly. So will you get on it straight away for us?
Yeah, I'll do it.
And then I suppose the trick's gonna have to be is the breakout area where you house that. Because remember, that's the whole reason we shifted that over. So yeah, have a look, get on it. And by the way, I'm recording, so no pressure.
Okay, fine, I'll get it done.
Good lad, see you in a bit, Bo. Bye.
Cheers, nice one, bye.
Yeah, so actually, I think that's going to work. I'm not 100% sure. So if you imagine the next floor up where I'm going to be stood, there was a meeting room going that way across there. But really, we're just going to lose valuable workshop spaces, which is the premium. And I think we can jiggle it about and house it all in here. But the good thing about having TB in-house is that he can do it now pretty much straight away, and we can see if it works on paper, and if it does, run it off, get it back to the boys and crack on. The week that keeps on giving has given again. So I'm ravaged by hay fever, and I've got all sorts going on in the yard and everything, things breaking, as you know. But the 8-wheel grab, which is the Mercedes, looking back now, I kind of regret getting a Mercedes. Loads of people have told me since that you'll struggle with that. They're lovely looking machines, but they're always mechanically problematic. Well, it's failed its MOT, which is a bit annoying because it was in somewhere having a pre-check MOT, but we did sort of drop it on them, so that's really annoying. Apparently it's failed on some little bits, but bits that we've already had paid for the repairs to be done. So again, I'm going to have to try and find a way of getting that boxed off ASAP and get a retest. But what I just don't get this week at all. Anyway, trying to be positive. So as you can see, we've started moving some materials down here now that we collected over the years, and this is the idea, that we'd have somewhere larger and dry to store them. Obviously, we're not going to keep them like this, and we've got loads more to come. But I want to see it all here so that when we do this bit here, we know what we've got. I mean, some of it we won't use, but we've got literally sheets and sheets of ply, loads of, do you know what? It's good quality timber. That's like an 8x1 ply. We'll find somewhere for it, and then what I'm going to do is have loads of racking, and everything's going to be on display. We've already got it audited and logged on our system so we can see what's there. But that has always been my vision, my dream, to have one spot where we can see all our materials stacked up. We'll have the forklift here that Batson and Car Breakers have kindly donated on long-term loan for us. Got them a present this week, but you'll have to watch on their episode to find out what I got them. And yeah, it's good. This is what we want. All the materials here, but like I say, there's loads more to come, and we can't have it all dominated by materials because we're going to have a bit of a workshop, but it's coming together. So even though I'm having a tough week, there is a mini announcement that I want to make. I wanted to make a bigger deal of this, but we're not quite there yet. But Alex and I, in the background, have been working on something that we think is going to be really big for us. It's basically the Every Trade University, and what it is, all the learnings and all the knowledge and all the documents and everything that we've acquired over the years, we're going to compile and we're going to put it out there for you guys. Some stuff will be free, some stuff will be chargeable, but it's going to be a real resource place to go, a university if you like, for builders, tradesmen, people wanting to grow construction companies, people that just want to grow business companies, but also on the property side as well. It's going to be the ultimate place where you can get everything that we've used to build our businesses. Now, I'm not saying we're Richard Branson or Elon Musk or anything like that, but we think what we have built is worth some value out there. So it'll be things like a pricing estimate. People always struggle with pricing and labour rates. We're going to have a whole document there where all you'll do is you'll put your rates in and it'll tell you how much everything is. So how much to fit 100 metres of skirting board, you just put the meterage in, your rates, and it'll fire it out. How much to point up, like what the boys are doing here, jointing up, things like that. The whole thing will be in there. It's going to be a great resource. We use that now behind the scenes, but we want to make that available to people like you guys. You'll also be able to book mentoring calls with me and Alex if you want to, and quite a few people do reach out. And the idea is it eventually will grow. We might put a bit of a community together and things like that and share ideas, and hopefully there might be people out there watching this that know more than us and can give us some value. So yeah, it's being built behind the scenes, but it's the Every Trade University. I've dropped a link for a holding page below. All we want people to do is just bang in your email address so we can gauge if there's any interest before we press the final button. Because if no one wants it, then we're not going to spend the money finishing it off. But we think it's going to be amazing. Loads of you guys reach out already, and yeah, it'll be good just to put it out there. We're not going to be unrealistic with what we're going to charge. It's really, as long as it covers its costs, we're not that bothered. But we think it's something that'll really grow legs, and it's going to be a great resource for people like you guys. So yeah, if you're into construction or property or the trades or in business generally, because we're going to put like cash flow forecast documents and things like that, all sorts of random documents on there that you wouldn't think you need but you actually do, that makes your life easier and helps running and growing your business easier. So have a look below. I'll put the link in there and then sign up. We're not going to spam you or anything like that, but as soon as we launch, we're going to tell you guys first. Cheers. You'll notice, or you might not, but we've got the cameras installed now. So I've got 16 cameras fitted everywhere around here. I've got a PTZ coming as well, which is the camera that I can control from my phone and move about. So that's good that that's happening, because I want this to be secure, but also to be safe, so we can make sure whatever's happening here is safe. So that's good, and that's a little bit of progress. Just need to get an internet connection sorted here now so we can watch the cameras and see it all come together. Let's have a little fly over to the yard. The dig's back. Let's see what's going on. Obviously, we've got a bit of machinery down, so I can't imagine there'd be loads going on, but I do know that you guys love the yard content, so let's go and check in and see how we're getting on in our yard. Woo! can't remember if I've told you about this, but this is one of my crazy auction purchases. I actually don't think this is that crazy. This is a parts washer. So when Dale's set up, he actually reckons this is a great buy. You can wash the parts, and then what happens is you pay someone to come and take and dispose away of the chemicals and the residue separately. So I'm actually pretty pleased about it. So I'm going to get that plumbed in somewhere. In the comments of last week's episode, a couple of you eagle-eyed subscribers noticed that we put one of the spindles on Project Church upside down. Well, I'm pleased to say I checked with Glyn, the tradesman. He said he knew about it and it had already been changed. And then I looked through our daily logs on Builder Trend, the software we use, and he's right. He had put it back right. So there's a picture there. Now, that's right, so don't worry. It's sorted. It's the right way. That happens quite a bit though. And sometimes it does slip through the net. And I noticed it in the edit. I didn't really want to put it out, but it would have messed the episode out. But I'm glad you guys spotted it. On Project Wilms though, I told you yesterday we're having problems there now. Well, the engineer actually, rapido, turned it around and give us a bit of a solution. What it's going to mean is more steel work, and Adam and Eve are actually going to have to drop off now. This is what happens, things change dynamically, but it's a good thing about having our own team is that we can move things about and go and sort that, and then we're going to need to get some fabrication done that Dale's going to sort as well. So got some designs for that, albeit a bit rough and a bit ready, but it's what we need. We can crack on and get that job moving back on again. So yeah, solutions, not problems. So you come out of the workshop factory area, if you like, and then you're into what's going to be a reception, although we might tweak this a bit now because I was talking about the breakout area, which is like a kitchen area for the staff to use. I might try and house that down here because on the drawings this was dead space, but the boys have cracked on just to open this up. So what we want is a little space that when people come in, maybe to, I don't know, when TB does a bit of a design meeting with them, or maybe hopefully people picking up the keys to their vehicles that we've repaired, we're going to sit them here, so the guys will come downstairs. We'll have a full-time receptionist or anything like that, not yet anyway, and we'll give them somewhere nice to sit, maybe a little water cooler. So yeah, this is cracking on quite well. The Dig, who's back off his holidays, who loves delivering bad news, but he does care, and that's why we like him. He sent me a few more issues that the guys have done. I'm trying my hardest to give faith in people. I feel like I'm a good boss. I feel like I pay people on time. I feel like I'm fair with people. Pay people might not be the best rates out there, but they're fair and they're competitive. And my longest standing guys who have been loyal and worked hard are on very good rates. So, you know, I feel like we're a good company to work for. But some guys, and I'm not going to mention names, and I don't know if it's just not even on purpose, but just don't look after things. They're not spatially aware, and it's ultimately costs us repairing, but then it costs us in downtime. And the Dig sent me some more images of stuff that has broken, like an extension leak's been trampled, and someone's used the handle off the trommel, which I haven't used for ages, as a pin in a bucket, and just daft things like that. And I get it, I don't think these people do it on purpose, they're just trying to keep going, but why? Just respect our equipment. We do our bit. All I want people to do is come to work. Hay fever. All people do is come to work, do a fair day's shift, and then get paid on a Friday. Just look after our gear. I try my hardest to provide nice vans, nice trucks, nice equipment, good equipment, so they can do their jobs to the best of their abilities. Yet all I get is broken things, and no one did. You know, if you break something, tell me. Apparently the crusher's been damaged as well. It's annoying because that might actually be going out on a long hire soon as well. So could monetize it, but now I'm going to have to pay to get it repaired. Who'd be in business? I think I'm going to go back to HQ now and get some love from my friends. Ugh. Yeah. Back at HQ, I need to be around people that I love and my friends. What a week this has been. You know what? It's weeks like this where sometimes I think, I hate being in business. I hate my business, but I know that I don't. I absolutely love being in business, and I love my business. I love the guys that I work with. What I don't love is hay fever, and I apologise for this snotty episode of Every Trade Behind the Build. Hopefully, I'm going to take about 900 antihistamines. By the way, I've had that jab up the bum. I nearly said I've had that prick up the bum, but that might have gone down badly, but I've had that jab in my bum and it hasn't helped this year. I don't know, it must be really high, the pollen count. So I'm sorry for the snuffles in this episode, and I'm sorry it might have felt a little bit depressing with all the issues, but again, I promise you guys, I want to be warts and all and transparent, but it is what it is. This is just business, and you get weeks like this and they get better. I'm going to go home, get ready for camping. The rain's just started, but I get to spend some time with my son, and next week is a new week and we're going to be all right, we boys. 100%. Have a great weekend. Don't forget to watch Preferred Journeys episode, which was out on Saturday, which was yesterday if you're watching on Sunday. Spend some time with your families or look after yourself. Have a relaxing weekend and I'll see you next week. Nice. Good hammer.